Hey, welcome back everybody. Gee, what an exciting time to be alive. We've just survived another Australian summer. COVID seems to have gone somewhere. And we've just had the annual Pride celebrations in Mardi Gras. And it's actually the first time a sitting PM actually attended the Mardi Gras. So very exciting news. The Mardi Gras is a great time. A lot of colour, a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. You should really go if you can. I've been to one. It's a very fun time. A lot of colour, a lot of positivity. And so what the Mardi Gras represents on a societal level, it increases your appreciation for the Pride community, let's say, by a notch. So if you're indifferent to the Pride community, you're yeah, they're cool, I love them, they're great, fine, whatever. On Mardi Gras weekend, you're yeah, those guys rock, woo! If you're at that level already, you're already at that, yeah, Pride community, woo! You'll probably fly to Sydney, you attend the Mardi Gras, you might even walk in it. Fantastic. And if you're one of those guys who, let's say, doesn't appreciate the Pride community, you're pretty much going to be at that level because that's the type of person you are. Anyway, not only was it Mardi Gras, it was the first time a professional football code here in Australia had a Pride round. So the A-League, the Australian Professional Football Competition, had the Pride round. So every team wore colours with Pride colours on it. There's a bit of talk, discussion, celebration, some interviews with players to really promote the round. It actually was a year build-up. So starting last year from when Adelaide United and Melbourne Victory had the first Pride Cup, in the A-League especially, they spent the whole year trying to educate, talk to clubs, talk to players, etc., just to promote it and make sure everybody was on board or happy to participate. And it pretty much went without a hit. So without any issues. I didn't really see anything in the media talking about how people were really upset by it. So yeah, congratulations, well done A-League. Not so much what happened in the NBL and NRL. We'll talk about that a bit later. So you think with the first ever, Pride round, not the A-League, sorry, the NBL did it just before, but we'll talk about that a bit later. So from a football point of view, first ever Pride round happened on the same weekend as the Mardi Gras Pride celebrations. You think there'll be, great media coverage on it. You think the media will be like, yes, here's our chance to help promote a great initiative, a great societal good, to make more people aware, make more people feel comfortable, especially in the male sporting field, professional male sporting field, to have to increase the notoriety, to increase the attention, increase the appreciation, the love, respect of the gay community. So here we are. So here's the papers, and here's the Channel 9, 7, and ABC, the news programs I looked at from the 23rd of February to the 26th of February. So that's the eve, the Thursday night before the Pride round started, to the last day of the Pride round. I looked at those newspaper articles and the sports section of those, the nightly news, to see how well they covered it. Also, I didn't include Channel 10 because Channel 10 didn't always upload their nightly news segments on their website for me to analyse. And also, Channel 10 actually covered the A-League. So this is actually a good way to see how other TV stations, how other newspapers who are unrelated to the A-League actually do cover it and cover the Pride round. So here we go. So we're going to look at how well the media covered the first ever male Pride round in a football code here in Australia. So here we are. Is that any hair? Oh. What? No one covered it. No one paper or news program. What happened to ABC? Not? No. What do they cover instead? AFL preseason. First ever male Pride round, AFL preseason. AFL preseason. Really? Well, there you have it. Sad, isn't it? You think, such a great initiative, and plus all the controversy regarding, gay athletes in male sports, what happened to NRL and NBL, you think they would have covered it, but they didn't. Why? Well, this part we're going to take the fun away from what we've been doing, and we're going to, unfortunately, talk like adults. So I apologise if you had a bit of fun. It's all serious talk now. So look, at worst, it can pretty much be like the modus operandi of the media in Australia, where it's unless it's a negative football story or a negative A-League story, we won't cover the A-League. So this is very much a positive A-League story. So the media doesn't cover it. You'll see in the other videos I post, the media really doesn't cover the A-League as much as it should. Right? But at worst, that was at the best, you think they're just not going to cover the A-League. At worst, it's no, we still don't really want to talk about male, or about, including or appreciating male gay athletes in our football code, because they're doing the female one. You'll see there's actually a couple of articles I'm about to pop up just before the Pride round. So the Monday and I think the Wednesday beforehand, they actually talked to the Perth Glory captain about the Pride round from a female point of view, and even the News Corp papers did like a newspaper release, like a little book jack inside their newspaper, talking about Pride community and how it's represented in sport, most only from really a female angle, nothing about the male side of things. And even if you look at the article, the whole 8-page spread, there's literally one sentence talking about the Pride round, even though it was literally coming up that weekend. It's like, just why is this all this like pullback about talking about it? It was quite sad. So these are the only 2 articles I could find in the week leading up to the first ever Pride round. So, from one point of view, you wouldn't really think these media organisations, a pivotal moment in Australian sport, Australian male sport, in the Pride community, you think because of spite for the A-League, they wouldn't have covered, right? I mean, right? Well, that's what happened. Very disappointing. Bit sad, really. So anyway, let's talk about the whole NRL and NBL situation, because I think that's important to cover. So what happened last year in the NRL was the Manly Sea Eagles wanted to wear a Pride top. Players refused. This year in the NBL Pride round, the Cairns Taipans wanted a Pride top. The players refused. Now, both circumstances were due to cultural and religious reasons, right? We'll talk about that in a second. So as you can see from these images, the tops weren't that really, let's say, I don't know, intrusive. I don't know how nicely you want to put it. There's a bit of rainbow stripe on each side of a betting logo, or betting company. We'll talk about that in a second. And the Cairns Taipan was a bit of embroidery around the clothes manufacturer. So is that really a big issue? So I know what people are saying, look, that's their right, it's fine, but we're going to talk about that in a second. And people are saying, look, it's only a small proportion of people. There's still a lot of the NRL which is willing to commit to the Pride round. Well, no. So the Sydney Morning Herald did a survey, where they surveyed the 34 chief executive officers and the chairmen of the NRL, like quite higher up, and 82% of them don't want a Pride round, which is quite a sad realization. Here's as you can see in this graph here, that it's quite sad, and for whatever reason they said no. Look, maybe they're very pious. Maybe the NRL is a very religious organisation, and they all say no for religious reasons. We don't want it. But from that religious point of view, they're saying their religion can't support it. Their religion is against homosexuality, so you can't support it. Their religion is saying we can profiteer off gambling organisations, but we can't support the gay community. Because that's what's pretty much happening. These guys are sponsored by a gambling company. So they are allowed to get, so some of their salaries comes from, gambling. Not only that, a professional sports star, that whole occupation, people can gamble on. Apart from, let's argue, the stock market, there's no other occupation in the world where you can gamble on something. So these guys are literally in a sporting field, or occupation, which promotes gambling and allows gambling. Well, I can't say promotes, but allows gambling. So again, I'm not too sure how many religions out there are anti-homosexuality but pro-gambling. And look, let's say it is true. Let's say there's religions out there which are anti-homosexuality, pro-gambling. But let's be honest, 10 to 11% of Australia identify as part of the Pride community. So these guys in their life would have been coached by someone who's from that community, trained. Some of their staff now will be there. There's a marketing team, people who work at the stadiums to sell chips and drinks. They will be part of that community. It's just reality, right? And not only that, is that people in the crowd, people who are your members, people who buy merchandise, buy subscriptions, buy whatever, fund you, are from the Pride community. And I've never heard anyone in the NBL and NRL from these two teams. I shouldn't blanket everybody, but these two teams, I never said, look, I want to forego 10% of my salary because that would have come from the Pride community, and I wouldn't feel right taking their money. So they're not. So what it's saying is that I'm willing to accept your money, but I'm not willing to give you my support. That is honestly what it feels like from the outside, because for the examples I've just put out there. So as sad as that realization might be, we actually have a very good in Pride community, and the sponsor, I have a sponsor, apparently, has something which you guys would be very interested in. So let's head off to our sponsors. Let's go! Hi, are you tired of sporting organizations not supporting you, your lifestyle, and your community? Are you tired of the same old religious and cultural reasons they won't support you, even though they play for a hedonistic sport that for one promotes gambling? Well, have we got something for you? Introducing Gay Buy! How does Gay Buy work? All you're pretty much doing is paying for people to support your gay community. It's kind of like using the same ideology they have for gambling. But now we're using it for a social good, right? Kind of think of it as like a buy now, where you're paying for, support. Hopefully in the end, you don't have to pay for it anymore. They generally want to support the community. Yeah. Anyway, all you do is get one of our buy now packages, take it to your local sporting organization, or even player, and let the support of your community begin.